ANC and Inkatha Freedom Party have reached a consensus on governance issues. IFP leader Velenkosini Hlabisa explains that the party will govern municipalities where it has successfully gained more seats, and so will the ANC. The IFP emerged as one of the biggest winners in the municipal polls in KwaZulu-Natal. It secured an outright majority in 16 councils, a jump from 7 councils it won in 2016. Our reporter Nkosikhona Duma has been watching these proceedings from KwaZulu-Natal. He joins us now, and we'll also get some analysis from Professor Sethulego Matebisi about then this allegiance, this alliance. I won't go as far as calling it a marriage between the ANC and the IFP. Nkosikhona, it looks like the IFP and the ANC have found creative ways of burying the hatchet that from time to time will rear its head, the hatchet between them.
Indeed, you're absolutely correct, Kathy. They are actually saying that the issues that dates back to pre-1994 are still an issue. This is, of course, according to the IFP, but they've said, look, for now, it's all about the local government elections, ensuring stability and service delivery. They've said that coalitions in South Africa have proved not to work. The classic case, of course, they're referencing is the issues in Nelson Mandela Bay. And so they've reached a consensus here in KwaZulu-Natal where they're saying that in the 21 hung councils in the province, where they have a majority as the IFP, the ANC will not oppose them. In fact, the ANC will just take up the position of opposition, and they will govern that municipality outright. And so this means effectively, Kathy, that the IFP in those municipalities, it will take on the positions such as mayor, deputy mayor, and speaker in those councils. And also where the ANC is a majority as well in hung municipalities where it has the most votes, it will take up a position of mayor, deputy mayor, and speaker effectively running those municipalities. So I'll make an example of eThekwini, for example. We know that the ANC, for the first time since 1996, it has generated less than 50% of the vote. Currently, there's about 96 seats in the eThekwini councils, and for a majority, it means about 16 councils. And guess who has those seats? It is, of course, the Inkatha Freedom Party. And so with this development, it means the ANC is set, of course, now to govern eThekwini. The Inkatha Freedom Party saying this is, of course, all in a bid to ensure stability, because the other options as well, when they were engaging with political parties, and these include the EFF and the Democratic Alliance, they found that the demands that were being made by such parties were beyond reason. And I quote Nkululeko Hlengwa here, the spokesperson of the IFP. And so they are saying that this is the agreement that reached. I just want to add one thing, Kathy, and it's working out for the IFP very well, conveniently so, because it has won about 14 councils outright in KwaZulu-Natal. Now, with this agreement that they've reached with the ANC, that number will now jump to about 22 councils. When you add districts, municipalities where matters are a bit complex, that number could increase to about 24. Effectively, if ANC councillors adhere to this decision by the party officials that they've taken with the IFP, it means that the IFP will control the majority of councils in KwaZulu-Natal.
Prof. Matebisi, let me bring you in here. Are these signs of pragmatism from both the IFP and ANC?
Well, Katie, good afternoon, and good afternoon to the viewers. I think what we should understand at a broader level is that we are moving in uncharted area or uncharted territory when it comes to local governance in South Africa. And perhaps the question should be for the IFP, why did they now have to turn around? And I do agree with him. You've got small players who wants to dictate to parties who have a vast largest proportion of the votes. But fact of the matter is, I strongly believe that this so-called agreement between the African National Congress and the IFP may just have implications beyond politics, and it may also lead to social cohesion and a lot of trying to stabilize the relationships between the African National Congress and the IFP. Some of them which emanate from the past, and I strongly believe that most of them have not been resolved. But this bodes well for local governance.
Do you think that it has the potential of leading to a better relationship between the ANC and the IFP? One looks at some of the statements that have been made by the President Emeritus of the IFP, Prince Buthelezi, just over the last year. The things that he has to say about the ANC are not always the best of things. You know, a lot of unsavory things can be said, and it seems like there's still a lot of bad blood that is being carried around. Is that what could change that? Is this rather what could change that?
Not only bad blood, but remember, I don't think this agreement is cast in stone. We will still see situations where individual councillors may just decide to vote against their own party. And for obvious reasons, there might be consequences. We have seen that happening in numerous occasions where, I can bring in the so-called Map 17 or Map 16 here in the Free State. So there are lessons, to be learned to say that this is not cast in stone. And definitely, I don't think now suddenly all the issues that the IFP had with the African National Congress will suddenly be laid to bed. And remember, it's not only about the IFP leadership who have came up with these decisions. There might be a situation that the IFP will be punished come the next general elections or even the next episode of the local government election, because they have been given a mandate that is to say we want to see the IFP govern. But I don't think many of the IFP members have foreseen a situation where perhaps the IFP will go into bed with the African National Congress. But for me, there will definitely be at national level still that bickering between the IFP and the African National Congress.
Nkosikhona, the one way for the IFP to ensure that this move is not lost and where it can gain ground is by ensuring that it delivers services in the municipalities where it will now be governing. What have they said about that, and what is the caliber of leaders that they're going to be appointing to these crucial positions to ensure exactly that?
Well, Kate, the IFP is saying that history in South Africa suggests that when it comes to local government, when you have too many players who are governing, so they use an example, say you have 10 political parties governing a municipality, that doesn't work. And then they had meetings with at least 17 political parties prior, of course, to engaging and reaching an agreement with the ANC, and the assessment of some of the demands that were being made by those political parties was that it was just not going to work. That one political party needed, of course, to take up the leadership reins, and all the other political parties should serve in opposition and hold whoever is in power accountable. And so they're saying that that is, of course, one way of ensuring service delivery. They're saying that coalition governments, based on some of the demands, based on some of the ideological differences that political parties are making, of course, for them, it's just not going to work. Of course, they've benefited from this, Katie, because the FP has won about 14 municipalities outright, right? With this agreement, they were leading, of course, in just about 10 hung municipalities. That is, KwaZulu-Natal had about 21 of those. And this effectively means the IFP, because of this agreement, they will gain more councils. And that is why you find, Katie, that there are people in the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal who are saying, of course, already to us as members of the media, that they do not see this happening, that they foresee that some councillors will, of course, disobey this agreement because it has been taken at a national level. The IFP and, of course, the IFP national leadership and the KwaZulu-Natal leadership are at constant loggerheads and they do not meet each other. In fact, at the last press briefing on Sunday, IFP President Velenkosini Hlabisa said that they are not interested in forming any relations, of course, with the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal because they are refusing, of course, to deal with some of the issues that they're raising here, and they will rather discuss issues at the national level. And hence, you see, Kathy, this agreement coming about after, of course, President Cyril Ramaphosa and the IFP founder and President Emeritus Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi meeting and, of course, agreeing on this particular matter. I think with that said, the IFP has also said that councillors that they've deployed in all municipal councils will sign, of course, an agreement, and also they'll be monitoring all their efforts at the national level.
All right, let's leave it there for tonight. Our reporter Nkosikhona Duma and Professor Sethulego Matebisi.